obviously this had to take a lot of research.
Yes.
What was the biggest challenge of like sifting through all the research and what you would actually include in the film?
Yeah, well, it was a profound amount of research. It was a years-long process. I mean, the first challenge was learning how to write Belfast dialogue without speaking in a Belfast accent myself, so there's a lot with the language that I had to do. And I would say the biggest challenge, there were two challenges. Sometimes you have too much information and it's about learning what to cut, and then also sometimes you don't have enough. So there are certain sequences where, particularly because it's a show about the IRA, where the organization is built around secrecy and a code of silence, it meant that like you don't know what was said in every room. You can't possibly. And so at some point you have to trust that you've done enough research so you can feel like you can go and write.
Now, obviously, you then have to take all this research and fact and put it through the character's point of view. What was the challenge, like distilling all this important information, but making it from the character perspective?
That was actually the most important thing. That was the guiding principle. Everything inside the character's tight perspective would be something that I would want to use. And then if it was outside of their perspective, even if it was like a seismic event in Irish history, I was more likely to cut it, or we were more likely to cut it, because it just if it didn't directly affect the characters, then it wasn't part of the story we were telling.
And for you, a lot of the younger generation does not know about the Troubles.
That's right.
How do you feel like now you're actually bringing awareness to what actually happened?
I mean, I think it's hugely important. I think there's a culture of silence in Ireland. There's also a culture of silence in England, right, to a certain degree, because they don't really like talking about what happened either, right? And I think we had a number of cast members, who were English, who said were so drawn to the show because they hadn't heard about this stuff in school. And I think if people can gain awareness about what happened, I mean, one of the guiding principles of the show is that it's important to open the door to the past, even if it's painful, even if it's traumatic. It's kind of the only way you can heal.